I'm awesome from China.
My name is Annika and I'm from Austria.
Hi, my name is Khanyisile from South Africa.
I am Jatin from India.
Why existing plastic is bad. It is found absolutely everywhere, from Arctic to Antarctic. It clogs street drains in our cities, it litters camping grounds and national parks, and is even piling up on Mount Everest. Thanks to runoff and to our fondness for directly dumping our trash into the nearest river or lake, plastic is growing increasingly common in the world's oceans. As demonstrated by the escaped flotilla of rubber duckies, floating plastic even forms massive garbage patches swirling slowly in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, thousands of kilometres away from land. But more than floating around in the water column, plastic trash is found in the guts of more than 90% of the world's seabirds, in the stomachs of more than half of the world's sea turtles, and it is even choking the life out of whales. At the rate of which plastic is accumulating in the oceans of the planet, it is predicted by 2050 the mass of plastic in the world's oceans will exceed the mass of all fish that live there. Plastics are one of the main products of fracking. We all know that fracking is bad for the planet. It pollutes water, soil and air with toxins, creates underground cavities that collapse into sinkholes, and it raises pressure in underground rock formations, which can cause earthquakes. Adding insult to injury, one of the main products of fracking is plastics. Basically, fossil fuels removed from shale and other rock formations are turned into resin pellets that are used to manufacture even more plastics, plastics that are easily discarded, plastics that are designed to be single use. Not all plastic is recyclable, and not all recyclable plastic is recycled. People are often consumed by the term breakdown versus biodegradable. When plastics are broken down, this simply means one large piece of plastic is reduced into a bunch of smaller pieces of plastic, whereas a minority of plastics are biodegradable, which means they can be reduced to their chemical compounds. Other plastics can be successfully composted by industrial or municipal facilities after first being separated from other non-biodegradable plastics. Unfortunately, most people are confused as to which plastics fall into the biodegradable category, as this confusion often is most apparent when confronted with unfamiliar plastics in unfamiliar places. Plastics survive even the harshest conditions, such as floating around in a marine environment under blistering, unrelenting sunshine, or frozen into Arctic ice for years before finally floating away and landing on some faraway shore. For this reason, plastics will probably outlast humanity itself.
Plastic, how it affects us. Millions of tons of plastic swirling around the world's oceans. Thousands of plastic bottles laying in the roadside ditch. Plastic bags floating on the streets. We all know these pictures, and of course we don't want our environment to look like that. But how does this pollution actually affect us and our world? Plastic does not rot within a few months or years. It takes ages until it gets decomposed. If plastic waste does not get collected and recycled, it becomes dangerous to the environment, to animals, and to human beings. One harm is that colorful plastic can be quite deceptive because animals mistake it for food. They unintentionally eat plastic, but they can't digest it. In most cases, this means a painful death because their stomach is full of plastic and they cannot eat normal food anymore. Another harm can be that large pieces of plastic can break down over time and release these small pieces into the environment. Weathering, such as from waves, sunlight, or other physical stress, breaks the plastic into smaller pieces. The result is microplastic, which is even more dangerous because you can't see it. You can find microplastic in the groundwater, in the ocean, and even in the Arctic ice. It has been proven that in some seafood there is already a dangerous amount of microplastic. If we eat this fish, we also eat the microplastic. Now, it is not 100% clear how microplastic impact human beings, but there are some studies which point out that microplastic may lead to infertility and cancer. When I did the research for this project, I wasn't surprised about what I found, because as most people, I already knew how bad it is. I was sad and disappointed. This isn't a new problem. The first International Convention for the Prevention of Marine Pollution was signed on 17 February 1973. And still, there has never been more plastic in the ocean than in this very moment.
France, the new plastic economy, French Republic, January 2016, the World Economic Forum first put forward the vision of building a plastic recycling economy so that plastic will never become waste. They built an economic model, and this economic model requires the extensive participation and cooperation of various parties so as to reduce the flow of plastic into the ecological environment. A big part of the new plastic economy is innovation. French industries have agreed to promote green design by taking environmental considerations into account to make it easier to recycle and reuse directly. The Netherlands. Plastic is bad in urban construction. The Netherlands pedestrians ride bicycles along a plastic highway. In September 2018, the Netherlands has built the world's first eco-friendly smart bike lane using recycled plastic. After a year of research, the vehicle was able to travel on the plastic road without any problems. The innovative use of plastics also provide more ideas for the construction of environment-friendly smart cities. Danish. No Plastic Waste Action Plan. The Danish government issued an action plan. The actions highlight its establishment of a national plastics research center to guide the use of plastics on the basis of scientific research. The plan also includes a nationwide plan to separate and collect plastic waste, banning the use of single-use plastic bags. There is also a method to use plants to replace the plastic. At a supermarket in Thailand, use banana leaves instead of plastic to wrap goods.
Because we are in the current COVID-19 situation, what are the effects that the pandemic has had on the issue of plastic consumption and the discarding of plastic? First of all, the increase in online deliveries has seen a spike in the number of plastic bags needed, straws used, and plastic packaged items bought, all as a result of panic buying and simply consuming more things than usual from being indoors. Not to forget the use of 129 billion face masks and 65 billion plastic gloves each month globally by frontline workers and citizens. Secondly, because of the call for entities to use disposable plastic cutlery, the issue of plastic easily being lost to the winds, land, and sea seemingly grows more and more without end. So, what is Team 5's solution to the issue of unsustainable cities and communities concerning the unhealthy discarding of plastic? We propose a systematic change in how we do things to change the narrative of this multidimensional problem. We call it the Plastic for Dignity campaign. This campaign advocates responsibility for the disposal and collection of plastic for repurposing to address the issue of sanitation. We want to educate the masses through recycling cups for the kids, which will influence their households and build a sense of community service by being responsible consumers. We propose that informative multimedia adverts are set up. This makes definite that many people become better informed and take action. However, that is not the only impact we plan on making. We plan on extending ourselves by introducing the recycling of HDPE plastic. All plastic materials collected and taken to recycling firms to be melted down and can be mixed with fly ash to create a composite material. This composite material is then used as an additive or component to manufacture toilet facilities and other basic sanitary facilities. Statistics from the cdc.gov website state that an estimated 2.5 billion people lack access to improved sanitation, which is more than 35% of the world's population. And seeing this firsthand is a traumatic and shocking experience. The statistics are there, but the firsthand experience makes one realize how truly devastating the reality is. We believe countries cannot progress if there are no proper and eco-friendly basic infrastructures like toilets and sanitation. Our Plastic for Dignity campaign requires the government, private sector, including BP, universities, and communities to commit and provide their resources and knowledge to make this campaign a success. In conclusion, We do not encourage more consumption of plastic, but rather the better discarding and repurpose of plastic waste to manufacture dignified sanitary facilities.
The next step. Synthetic plastic could have been the perfect, cheap, inert, shape shifting wonder. The only problem, microbes don't want to consume it. The nature doesn't like it. One must realize it's a multidimensional problem. As my friend Kenya mentioned, we must take every step possible to recycle the existing plastic. It is the most feasible option we have today by not letting the plastic loose in the environment. We, at Team 5, also believe with credible evidence that reusing is not the end solution. The more plastic we use, the more it degrades, the more microplastic is produced. Like my friend Annika said, it is extremely dangerous. A success story here in India is how waste plastic is made compulsory for making roads. It is reacted with road material in such a way that the mixture stays inert chemically, but also makes the roads stronger and weatherproof. And bonus, even less material is required. We feel that this should be encouraged, not only for building roads but even concretes of the future. Now, as we remove conventional plastic, we should replace it with biodegradable alternatives. Biodegradable plastics are materials that break down by the action of living organisms into water, carbon dioxide, and biomass. Even if they aren't perfect, we could genetically engineer microbes that completely digest them. If we are able to successfully find such pairs of microbes and materials that synergize well, an economically viable system could be set up.